For work, I was setting up Jenkins in Kubernetes, and I was wondering, is this also possible for RISC-V now? Java applications can run on RISC-V, so Jenkins shouldn't be a problem. I've seen Docker running, and I saw an article of an unofficial build of RISC for Kubernetes. There is an Helm chart for deploying Jenkins in Kubernetes. How hard can it be? I already had a normal VisionFive 2 from StarFive. When they started the Kickstarter project for the Lite edition, I ordered one. And I was contacted by StarFive if I want one for my projects. And I said, of course, but I already ordered one. Oh, don't care. We don't care. We still want to send you one. So now I've got 3 of them. And 3 is the magic number for our cluster. So that is convenient. Here they are all up and running. On the left side, you see the normal version of the StarFive VisionFive, and on the right side you see the 2 Lite editions. Unfortunately, there is still no official support for RISC-V on Kubernetes from the Kubernetes project. They are busy with it, but still not added completely. If you go into the code, some part of the code is already compatible, but still it is not maintained, delivered. There are no packages, there are no images. It is still not there. But there is Kube Solo. And on the website, you cannot see that it is for RISC-V, but you go to the project page, the GitHub page, you can see they already have a RISC-V SoloKube, but that is in the name Solo, only 1 node, and I want a multi-node cluster, so this is not an option for me. I also find out that there is an unofficial Talos Linux, an operating system just for Kubernetes, port from somebody that already has get it working for RISC-V. Didn't use it, didn't try it, but if I look to all these changes, it is not too much to get it working. Here's all the difference with the current Talos operating system, built from the operating system. Talos is a complete operating system with Kubernetes, with only Kubernetes. It is not too much. It is a list for all the kernel options that are needed for RISC-V and some RISC-V stuff for the pipeline, and that's it. I also tried RISC, and I found out somebody was already very busy to get Kubernetes running on RISC-V. He documented everything, keep up with the status, what is now merged or not merged, and also made an own version of RISC that is running on his RISC-V, on RISC-V. That is this one. But this release is already from October 2024. It was a little bit old. So I forked his project and changed the Docker images that he already created, or updated it to a version that are already supported for RISC-V, and made my own release. Because I saw his pull request or his changes, and that is not too much. It is a little bit of build. The images that have to be different for his RISC-V build, because Rensje don't have the RISC-V version of it, and he used the images that are directly and not a Rensje mirror version of it. Yeah, and his own version he made, so it is working for RISC. This is my version, a little bit newer. I already started building this in December last year. But yeah, holidays and everything, this some time already has passed. But it is his work with the latest version of KDS and a little bit of new images all together. And that is where I started installing KDS on my own cluster. To install the cluster, I first tried my version of KDS to get it running on the StarFive version of Debian, but I get a lot of errors. It was not working. I missed some kernel components. But which one? I knew that there is a check for Docker to check if all your modules that you need for Linux are there in your kernel. It's the raw version. I also already downloaded it on my StarFive single board computer, and here you can see all the stuff that is missing to run Docker without errors. See, I have not everything installed. And I found out if you download the installer of KDS, you can also say I want to check my configuration of my kernel. And it gives you all the modules, all the modules you can check on in your .config file if you build your kernel. If it's present or not. And you can see it is now all present, but it wasn't. So I could enable one by one all the config settings I needed for my kernel, compiled my own kernel, and installed Debian Trixie with my own built kernel. And I did it with kernel 6.19. Yes, that is not a release candidate, but in that version, all the stuff for the StarFive VisionFive to Lite is included, so it works then out of the box. Yeah, of course, except the GPU drivers that are still missing, but the rest is working. I kept my setup simple. It is not a really high availability cluster, just one master and 2 agents. That has worked for me. I just install it with the default KDS setup. Only the installation file is, of course, from a different address for my repo and my branch. And of course, the GitHub URL is different because it's my GitHub URL. And this will install it for the master. And you can get the token from your master node and join 2 agents. It is just default working for KDS, how to install it with 2 agents. Of course, I had to fix my kubeconfig because all the settings are in Rancher settings, and I had to add it to my own Kubernetes configuration, and then I could connect to my cluster. And I want to deploy a Jenkins under the URL Jenkins Kubernetes RISC-V.net, not existing URL, so I hacked it in my etc host file so that I can connect to my Jenkins. So it is up and running. kubectl config use context RISC-V. I've called my configuration RISC-V from a RISC-V cluster. kubectl get nodes in all white. Oh, that's don't lines very good, but you can see this is my StarFive VisionFive 2. And if I open freelance and at my RISC-V cluster, you can see 2 nodes, and if I click on a node, RISC-V VisionFive 2. It's the host name and it is running KDS. Okay, we have a cluster running. now we need to install Jenkins on it. There's already a Helm chart. The chart is working, of course, but the Docker images are still not present for RISC-V. I see they are working on it. These are the release notes of platform notes from Jenkins from December last year, and they are working on it. But I just added the Helm repo, installed Helm on the machine, of course, and yeah, I get a pull image error because the image was not present for RISC-V. So I cloned the project, found the project, cloned the project, checked out the same version, just build it and push it to my repository on GitHub, and changed in the Helm chart in the values for my Docker image, and that one is working now. Then I get, of course, the next image, that's Jenkins itself, and I try to build it, but I then get an error. An unmanaged Yearling version parameter. Didn't know anything about it, but there was already a fix. It is a call directly to the kernel that is blocked by Docker and needed for Java. So there is already a list of calls you can do to your kernel directly, and this one is now added for RISC-V, but this was still not available for Debian Trixie, so it was not working. So I added the SID repository for Debian and updated only my Docker, and then I built it again. That works. And of course, I removed the source from SID. So now I can change the Docker image for Jenkins, add an ingress to it. I started it up and it did look it was working. It wasn't. It was restarting the sidecar container. That's the container that set the configuration in your Jenkins. And I found out it wanted to write in a directory and didn't have the rights to do that. It says unable, usable, temporary directory found, yada yada yada, cannot write in it. So I added a system volume, an empty there, and mounted an additional volume to it. I don't know why this happened, how it should work, but yeah, I just mounted a temporary folder on it. I have not looked into it, but it is working now. I can deploy in Jenkins without any problems. But when I started my first job and I made a pipeline with a Kubernetes file in it, it failed. Of course, because the inbound agent in Jenkins is also not available for RISC-V. So I had to change that one, clone the project, build it for RISC-V, change again some settings for the Helm chart, and install it again. After that, all was working. And for the beauty of it, I created one value file, everything on it, with even a Jenkins configuration as code configuration script for my job. And here you can see I can uninstall it. And the website will be gone. And I can install it. Oh, I can install it. And I can visit it on this URL. It is not available yet, of course, because it is starting up. Workload box Jenkins, and you can see it is initializing. There's one. it is not that fast, but it is working. And up and running. Yo, it is there. I can log in. Oh, if I put in the correct password. And here I can go to settings, and you can see here system information. It is really running on RISC-V. I've got automatically a job, and I can run it. It will start up within Kubernetes, a Kubernetes pod. We will see that here in a second. And here it goes, finally. It is not that fast on RISC-V, on slow single board computers, but it is running. And here's the job running. The shell and the agent. So I think the conclusion can be, it is possible to run Jenkins on RISC-V in a cluster of only RISC-V pods and run a job. It's terrible slow, and the first time you start a job it is slower. The next time it will be less. Yes, we will see. Still running. It does nothing, it is only a uname minus a, but still. Yeah, succeeded. You can see that the job is succeeded. And you can also see that it is completed. So yes, it is possible, but a little bit slower than I expected, but it is running. More in depth about all of this is in my blog. I will put a link in the description. Also put a link in the description of the GPU video I made, how I put a GPU on my RISC-V board, so you can see all the stuff I did to get it working and how I get a GPU on the RISC-V board. Thank you for watching. Bye.